I don't know if it's a milo year or if it's a corn year or if I'm going to try to put some beans. They don't know if it's going to. That right now, they're literally waiting to see if they get any winter precipitation.
Yep.
If they don't, is the wheat going to die? So then what are they going to follow wheat with? Are they going to follow it? And then, what's the price of corn and what's the price of milo? What's the local feed bids? I mean, it would be maybe I'm sure there's operations that pre-buy seed, of course, but when you have that many factors, particularly when weather is your driving factor, if you're under a pivot, sure, but man, dry land farming in the West, holy cow,
yeah.
Over here, I know what's going to go to corn. I know what's going to go to beans. If we have a shift, it's going to be a small. Yeah. It's not going to change my seed order that I've already, given to Heathman. So it's, I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's so unique because
I want to do 100 acres a year. I would love to do 100 acres a year of manure and humic, and then follow it with a cover crop, and then plant into it. I'd love to get that in my operation. That's something I want to talk to you about. And we've got a friend and customer that uses a lot of pelletized gypsum, and I want to better understand. Like around here, guys have run lime forever. Problem is once we started asking the right questions, it's high mag lime, and we're fighting high mag soils. So now it shouldn't surprise me that the local lime is high mag, parent material,
Amen, brother.
And so why should I'm not surprised now, but now I know a friend of mine owns a quarry. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, high mag. Now, is that a commodity somewhere else where someone needs mag? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. So it's just finding what fits where. So I need calcium.
Yep.
I need, sulfur. I benefit from sulfur. And so we've worked together enough. Do you think that gypsum, the pelletized gyp, would be a beneficial thing in my operation? You've seen some of my soil tests. You've seen my soil types. I've got go from black mucky to loose kind of loamy soil.
So, kind of talking about,
because part of me is like, oh, I want to go throw, kind of that yield chasing feel that hits in you, like, oh, let's go do it.
Yep. So maybe just to take a step back, you talk about gypsum, that just bigger things, calcium. Okay. Yeah. And calcium's such a interesting nutrient. And the reason why it's interesting too, you go into studies, it's the trucker of all minerals into the plant. Most minerals, let's put it that way. And then also, it's hard to work with in a liquid form because it doesn't play nice. Okay.
So I found that out one time.
Well, a lot of people know the importance of calcium, but logistically, how do you make it happen too?
Sure.
But on the same token, so when I think of calcium, I think of three things. Okay. We got calcium for pH.
Okay.
Calcium for soil structure. And then you got plant food calcium.
Okay.
So
this is great.
Yeah. You asked that one question, and I'm kind of sitting there saying, I'm going to have to rewind back because this is hitting my head and we need to talk about this part.
Yeah.
So first off, pH. Everybody it's very commonly printed, 6 to 6.5 or 6 to 7 pH. You're in the ballpark.
pH stands for percent hydrogen.
Yes.
That was something. If someone had asked me that a couple of years, what's pH stand for? I couldn't have said percent hydrogen.
Yeah.
Basic. That's like, wow. And then the correlation. We're going to stick to that.
You're good.
But the correlation between pH, soil pH, and hydrogen.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of farmers don't understand that. Like, wait a minute, my soil pH is affected by hydrogen. Yes. But we're going to talk about soil and calcium.
Yes.
And pH.
Yes. So if calcium is at right levels and stuff is releasing, your pH should be in that range. Okay. But you could also use calcium if you're in a very low environment. You can use calcium to bring your pH up. Okay. So I see that as the pH soil solution. When water hits the soil, what environment is it in? Calcium plays a role in that. Calcium plays a role in structure as well. And that's where you get to the Kinsey's, base saturation, Albrecht theories, going with, base saturations of, I would say 65 to 75. I mean, sweet spot, every lab's going to be slightly different. Okay, there's some labs that I feel comfortable doing a 65 and moving forward. There's some labs I'm like, we need it at a 70 to get the response we want to. Okay, but you can also go too high too.
Sure.
But and that's for soil structure. Okay, so base saturation calcium, for sure above 60. Like, period. Okay. Sure, above that is what you want to strive for and what you want to move towards.
When you say soil structure, can we paint a picture of what we're looking for? I mean, is there like our buddy up north, he swears that after running pelletized gypsum in carbons in his program for a number of years, he can pull a 24-row strip till bar substantially easier through his ground. Like, doesn't need to buy a bigger tractor.
Yep.
And he gives all that credit to the gypsum and humics.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what we're talking about, and that's what it ties into mag too for base saturations. So like I said, calcium, which is say 68%, magnesium, I mean, preferably around that 12 range. If you're in really sandy soil, you can be more of that 17 range. But that's just flocculation of the soil. Okay. So if you have soil that feels like a pillow when you're walking through it, okay, it's going to be easier to pull a strip till bar through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would that be your higher calcium grounds?
Well,
Probably.
I would say when things are in balance and nature is moving, okay, because carbon and calcium is going to control that the most. Okay. Now, going to what he's seeing with the gypsum application. Okay. So he's replacing calcium. If you have a higher mag soil and or a higher K soil, calcium is bigger. So when you apply that sulfur, okay, the sulfur is going to help displace or tie onto the excess mag or excess K. And this is like perfect scenario. I mean, if your parent material is high mag, it's just going to keep breaking off more mag for you. Just a heads up. Okay. But doing those rates of calcium and sulfur, okay, is you're helping soil structure there with gypsum. Okay. Calcium helps flocculate. Then also you're pulling up some of that available mag that would make it tight, breaking that away too.
Sure.
Okay. Also, if it's well-drained soils, okay, so you can wash that mag out of there. Or if you're overly abundant in potassium. You got to remember, all these cation ions, definitely when the plant can see it, okay, those base saturations are key because it gives each nutrient an equal opportunity to get into the plant as well, to a point.
Sure.
So that's where you get your plant structure and why you're seeing the gypsum have its effects. It's what the sulfur is doing, pulling out what you don't need per se and replacing it with calcium on that soil colloid. And that's why between that and adding humics to get your biology going, I agree with them. I bet you can see those kind of results with pulling a strip till and not having as much issues.
Sure.
Per se.
So that's calcium for soil structure.
Structure, yep. Then you have plant food calcium. Okay. The trucker nutrients getting into the plant. This is where you'd get that knowledge from a Haney test.
Guys, if you've liked the information that you've seen so far, go ahead and check out the full-length podcast on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe there. It's also on all the major podcast platforms. We're constantly dropping info and more content on all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Check it out for a lot more content.